Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will discuss how we can create a map chart like this using Microsoft Excel. Now I'm using Microsoft 365 version for this, but you would still be able to get this mapping functionality if you were to use Microsoft Excel version 2019. And to demonstrate this to you guys, I'm using a simple dataset like this. And in the first column over here, what you can see is basically names of a bunch of countries in Europe. And the second column is showing the GDP per capita in 2020 in euros. And the third column is basically showing how much the GDP has been appreciated or depreciated when compared with the records of year 2008. So as you can see, some countries have recorded positive GDP changes with respect to 2008 values, while some countries are showing negative GDP changes. So we'll see how we can put this information into a map just using Microsoft Excel. Now, I'm going to first represent the GDP per capita in 2020 in my first map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically select these two columns. So over here, you can see the first column, I'm actually selecting the country, and in the second column, it will be the corresponding GDP per capita value. And after that, we can head over to Insert. And over here, if you go over to Maps, and we can select a field map like this. And you can see that just in a matter of few seconds, it was actually able to plot this information into a map like this. Now, if you were to do this for the first time, it'll actually ask your permission to communicate this information with Bing Maps, because this map is basically powered by Bing. So you'll have to provide that access when you're trying to plot this dataset for the very first time, and that's just going to be a one-time grant of access. You can see that Microsoft Excel is actually able to recognize, just based on this information that I provided, it has only highlighted the countries that are included in my dataset right over here. And we can of course go ahead and do multiple alterations to this chart to make it look a bit more interesting. For example, if I were to click over here and right click and go to Format Plot area, I can head over to this border and add maybe a solid line like this as the map border, and over here I can add a title, GDP per capita in 2020 euros. And if you look at the actual colors that have been assigned to these different countries, you can see the legend right over here on the right side. So what we see over here is basically a color scale that's varying between this lowest value, which happens to be 8,750, all the way up to 101,640, which happens to be the GDP per capita of Luxembourg over here. And you can see that the countries have been colored accordingly. Now, the default settings might not be the most appropriate settings that you might want to use. Well, it depends on your personal preference. But for my case, I would much rather have a view where we focus on the countries that we're actually talking about. So we can do those kinds of alterations actually simply by double-clicking over here on your map window. And that opens up a completely new set of functions over here. We'll check them out one by one. So first, we have the map projection. And there are three different types of map projections that you can actually use. We have the Mercator projection, the Miller projection, and the Robinson projection. Now, in cartography, map projection is actually quite a big deal. It basically refers to the way how the globe has been flattened and projected onto a flat surface. And there are hundreds of different map projections that are being used. And out of those, these three happens to be some of the common ones. Now, for example, I'm sure you guys have used Google Maps. And Google Maps actually uses a projection called Web Mercator, which basically is a variant of this Mercator projection. And if you're curious about the Miller projection is actually also quite commonly used in quite a number of different atlases. For example, the National Atlas of United States published by USGS is actually using the Miller projection. So that's something you guys can actually play around and see which one fits your personal preference. And if you check out this second option, you can see that we can actually select the corresponding map area. Now we have two options. We can either go with the entire world map, or we have the option to focus only the regions for which the data is available. And for this particular tutorial, I would much rather go with this option. So when I click over here, you can see that now it's basically isolating all the countries that are actually relevant when it comes to what I have specified over here in my data table. And what you also can do is you can add some map labels. And if I select show all, it's basically trying to show all the labels. In this case, the label is actually going to be the name of the country. And as you can see, for certain countries, it's able to fit in the entire name. But for some countries, for example Portugal, you can see that it doesn't have enough space to fit the entire name of the country, so it's basically just going to be a couple of letters, or in this case just one letter and just a couple of dots. And if this is something that bothers you, what you can do is you can basically show the names which can be properly fitted into the area of that country. And when you select that, you can see that all of these countries which doesn't really allow to fit in the entire name loses its label, whereas these countries still retain its label. So that's something again related to your personal preference, how you would like to present your map. And if you head over to this series color and expand this, you can see that we have two options when it comes to how we would like to display the data. So by default, it's selecting the sequential two color scale, which lets us select two different colors, and the gradient will actually get applied automatically between those two colors. Now by default, you can see that we have our color scale ranging from a very light blue value to a very dark blue value. So the light blue basically refers to the lowest values and the dark blue refers to the highest values, and the other values will actually get assigned accordingly. But if you would like to add a bit more detail into this, what you can do is you can go with this diverging three color option. However, something to keep in mind is that you might want to apply the colors in a way that it provides some meaningful representation. For example, if you were to just select three random colors, it might not really give the impression of the values changing from the lowest to the highest with the proper gradient. So what I would recommend is that maybe we can set the lowest values to be red and we can retain the highest values to be blue, but the mid values, maybe we can assign them this yellow color, so that we can see this very commonly used rainbow type color scale, which are showing the low GDP per capita countries in red color and the highest countries in blue color. And the values in between are basically assigned according to this color scale. Now, what if you would like to represent a bit more information than just the name of the country over here? For example, the GDP per capita value as well. So there are actually multiple ways of doing that. And the way that I would recommend is that maybe we can go over here to the map labels and we can first deactivate this. And after that, we can click over here on this plus sign and we can select data labels. And over here, we can expand this and we can go and we can select more data label options. Now that allows us a bit more flexibility. For example, over here, you can see that right now we just have the value. But if I were to include the category name as well, you can see that the name of the country appears to the left side of the value and the separation has been done by a comma over here. And that's because we have assigned the separator to be a comma. And this depends on, again, your preference. For example, if you would like to have the two levels of information in maybe two different lines, what you can do is you can just select new line and the GDP per capita value will get dropped down into the next line, which to me looks a bit more appealing than the previous arrangement. And of course, you can make individual changes to this text as well. For example, if you were to select one of these text boxes, you can see that all of them get selected and you can head over to home. And from here, you can do the changes accordingly. For example, if I were to color everything in black color, just like this, and I can actually bold the font just like this as well. So you can make those changes accordingly, depending on your preference. And guys, this is kind of a dynamic map that means adding more information or removing stuff from this data table will immediately get reflected over here on this map. For example, if I were to maybe get rid of one of the countries, for example, let's say if I were to remove Spain over here, you can see that it immediately removed Spain from here. And just like that, let's say if you wanted to add another country, right over here, you can see that the United Kingdom is not present. So I'm going to add that. And the GDP per capita of UK happens to be about 34,800 euros in 2020. Well, the figures might not be accurate to the T, but you get the idea. So to include this in this map, what you can do is you can first select this data set simply by clicking over here on this map window, and then you can simply drag this and drop it just below this row, including UK into the dataset as well. And you can see that immediately that results in the appearance of UK right over here, and the corresponding color according to this color scale also actually gets applied this doesn't necessarily have to be countries just around this region. For example, if I were to pick a country maybe quite far from this region, let's go with Brazil, where the GDP per capita happens to be about, let's go with 6,000 euros. And if I were to drag this and drop it below Brazil, you can see that even though the country happens to lie on a completely different continent, it still actually manages to update that information instantly by communicating with this Bing map. So you can get the idea how powerful this functionality can actually be. So I'm just going to get rid of Brazil for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and remove UK as well from here. And if you wanted to represent this information, the GDP change from 2008 to 2020, well, what you can do is simply click once over here on this plot area, and you can move this over to GDP change. You can see that the map is actually getting updated accordingly, but the downside is that the settings that you applied are actually going to get lost. So this is going to be GDP, change of GDP per capita from 2008 to 2020. And yes, as I mentioned, we will have to again double click over here and basically make sure that we go back and apply the same settings that we discussed just a few minutes ago. It's not going to be too much of work, but it's kind of a shame that we actually lose all the settings that we applied during our previous steps. So the series color, I'm again going to go with the diverging 3 color scale, with red being the lowest and yellow being the middle value and blue being the highest. And we can also go ahead and apply the corresponding labels as well, having the name and the GDP change from 2008 to 2020 in 2 different rows like this. And now you can see that the color distribution is actually quite different compared to the color distribution that we saw just a few minutes ago when it comes to just displaying the GDP per capita in 2020, because now you can see that certain countries, for example Greece and Spain, have recorded negative values when it comes to the growth of GDP per capita with respect to the 2008 values. Whereas in this case you can see that Ireland is basically the one that has the highest GDP change from 2008 to 2020. So that gets colored in the darkest blue color, whereas Luxembourg happens to still be in the blue region, just like this. And that's going to be basically it, guys. You can further improve this map probably by adding a background color that suits. If you think that white background is not really giving it that much of a vibrance, and you can also apply the styles accordingly, let's say for the labels as well as the headings over here, and the corresponding changes to the font type and the font colors as well as the font sizes. So I'm not going to spend much time on those because those settings are actually not really complex. But I think we pretty much covered everything that I wanted to discuss today with you guys when it comes to plotting a map chart like this very quickly and easily using Microsoft Excel. Now, before we wrap up the tutorial, I would also like to give you a couple of tips when it comes to using this functionality in Microsoft Excel. Now, this is actually going to work quite well if you're using quite high-level geographic details. And what we have used over here is basically one of those high-level geographic details, like the names of the country. You might also be able to go a couple of levels down. For example, if your dataset consists of different states in the United States, you might also be able to actually plot those states, and you will be able to represent the information corresponding to each of the different states as well. But what you might not be able to do is basically plot quite low-level details like latitude, longitudes, and street addresses. Things like that will not be actually processed, and you most likely won't be getting any results if you try to plot those things using this functionality of Microsoft Excel. And also one thing to keep in mind is that you will need an internet connection to do this, because depending on your dataset, Microsoft Excel needs to connect to the Bing maps, and for that you will need to have an active internet connection. However, once you create the map, those maps actually can be viewed without an internet connection. So if you happen to save this map and open it again, you don't really need to have an internet connection. So those are a few key things that you have to keep in mind when you're using this tool to create a map chart using Microsoft Excel. And with that, we are going to conclude this tutorial, guys. If you do have any questions, add a comment down below, and if you would like to see interesting tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. In that way, you will be notified as soon as we publish a new video on this channel. So thanks a lot for joining, guys. I'll see you again with another tutorial very soon.